My goal for this project was not meant as instruction to others, but as an experiment for myself and a teaching tool for myself. I wanted to see if I could ride and teach a horse the movements and maneuvers of a working stock horse with the classical idea of straightness. I wanted the emphasis to be on developing a straight horse right from the start in a hackamore, one-handed or as close to one-handed as possible, as if she were a finished bridle horse. I also wanted to experiment with establishing cues from the actions of the reins themselves. In the process, I wanted to find which flexions and use of the legs and seat are absolutely necessary to achieve this, and which actions are unnecessary and irrelevant. I wanted to do this with minimum of equipment, without stress to the horse, without unnecessary corrections, and without tiring the horse excessively. If I could just sit still in the middle of a horse and try to arrange what is happening underneath me in the most minimal way for the most optimum results. So I'm not sure I've achieved this yet. It's a work in progress. The other idea I had was to see what the difference between using the snaffle and hackamore was, to see what things I thought a snaffle would be better for and why I thought I couldn't do the same with the hackamore, and so on. So it's an ongoing lesson to myself, using video to check the progress and examine my shortcomings as a rider and a trainer. This video will show segments of introducing and improving our lead departures, transitions, lead changes, and developing the turnaround and stops. This is going into the 4th month of riding this filly, basically 3 times a week, so it's not an intense program. But I hope that sharing this will have some benefit to others as well as myself. So here I'm riding one-handed, working on the straightness. I'm preparing for a lead change. So I want to get with the rhythm and cadence of her stride, come through here, and I just change my hips and see what happens with the straight horse. She handles that pretty well. I've only asked her to change leads a couple times before this. So I keep that same motion going, the front feet leading up between her shoulders. Here I think I'm going to change leads, but she's not straight. She's sort of bulging to the right, so I have to keep riding her straight. So I'm waiting for the optimum moment and keep coming and keep coming and keep coming, and then ask. She's a little rough there. I get a little out of timing, but it's a good try, and she stays straight. I haven't worked on any big kind of stops yet. It's a work in progress. I just letting her find it if I can. It's sort of an experiment. She finds a little stop here, but she kind of braces her nose out. So those are little things I can take care of as it goes on. But I don't want to pull on her and back her up, or correct her in that way, for fear I might ruin the try. There's another nice lead depart on the left lead from a walk, and so these are things that are pretty important. I'm going to try and get a little better change from left to right, so I'm going to set it up again. Same idea. I'm just riding her straight up through her pole, her neck coming straight out of her shoulders. I'm not bending left and right a whole lot. Ask for a little stop there. Here's the lead change. Happens a little better this time. Get a little bit out of rhythm, and I can see that I take care of that little brace in the stop, but she'll find it. She's got to get some conditioning going. When it comes to the turnaround, again, I'm riding one-handed here. I might have my fingers between the reins just to reach up for a little doze direction, but that's about it. I just let her keep her feet moving and let her find it. I'm not so worried about the pivot foot. I'm really not putting any leg into it at all. I'm just encouraging her to just keep moving forward. I'm just directing. Steps back a little bit. I think she'll find it. It's just got to be smooth with the rhythm and a cadence. I think I try the other way here. Walk her out for a while, just come around. It's a little bit keeping the front feet motoring. That's a little better. But again, my legs aren't really coming against her. And here's a backup. That straightness too will fix the straight backup rather than trying to fix the backup while it's happening. Just work on the straightness and asking to back and see how much better it gets. These are my ideas. Here she kind of wants to step back on an outside pivot foot, which is not a bad thing either when it comes down to working a cow. I figure she can control her body way better than I can, so I'm just like letting her find these things. And there's a nice straight backup.